Hello and welcome to News Central TV. My name is Mazino Appeal. The top stories this hour. Senate committee investigating allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President adjourns indefinitely as federal judge handling case steps down over Akpobio's petition. Rivers NLC and TUC threaten to disrupt economic activities over emergency rule, and also coming up, Mozambique's opposition leader Monlane and President Chapo reach agreements to end violence. Details coming up shortly. Welcome again. Now we begin the news in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, where the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions adjourned the case after it began its investigation into the sexual harassment allegation levied against Senate President Godswill Akpabio by suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. The investigation follows a petition submitted by one of Akpoti-Uduaghan's constituents accusing the Senate President of gross misconduct, abuse of office and sexual harassment. In a surprising turn of events, former Minister of Education Obi Ezekwesili made appearance in the committee room as a witness in the matter alongside the petitioner, where she engaged in a heated exchange of words with one of the lawmakers.
Because he has taken a stand publicly on this issue. And that is why we cannot sit here and take a vote in front of him.
You don't have the right to say that.
Oh, we do. We're citizens of Nigeria. We are here.
What we are here to do is to take the fever control evidence. When we take the fever control evidence,
Well, it didn't take long before the committee chair, Senator Neda Imaswe, adjourned the sitting indefinitely. Earlier, we were joined by lawyer and public affairs commentator Tunji Abdul Hamid, who shared his insight on the matter. We'll bring you that subsequently. Do stay with us. But joining us, apologies. Let's move on now to Abuja. Now, 39 constitutional amendment bills addressing key areas such as the judiciary, legislature, security, and also electoral reforms have passed their second reading in the House of Representatives. The leader of the House, Julius Ihonwever, led the motion for their consideration, highlighting key proposals, including an amendment that would make the recommendations of the National Judicial Council mandatory for the removal of heads of Nigerian courts. Another key proposal seeks to empower the Chief Justice of Nigeria to issue a proclamation for the inauguration of a new National Assembly. Also in focus is a bill advocating for the establishment of state and local government policies, or rather police forces, as well as proposal to create a political party registration and also regulatory commission to strengthen the oversight of political parties in the country.
Bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to make recommendation of the National Judicial Council mandatory for the removal of from office of heads of Nigerian courts and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Cap C-23 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024 to provide for the establishment of the Ecclesiastical Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and the Ecclesiastical Court of Appeal of the States and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to make the Court of Appeal the final appeal court in governorship, national and state houses of assembly election petitions and for related matters. Second.
Those in support of this motion that will be read the second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The bills are referred to Committee on Constitutional Review.
Now, a bill seeking to make the Court of Appeal the final arbiter for the determination of governorship election petitions has scaled second reading at the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by Nnamdi Ezechi, lawmaker representing Ndokwa East, Ndokwa West, Ukwani Federal Constituency of Delta State, seeks to alter Section 246 of the 1999 Constitution. The bill intends to alter that provision of the Constitution to include governorship elections. If enacted, the law will prevent gubernatorial election disputes from reaching the Supreme Court, a departure from the current practice. And now let's head to Rivers State, where the organized labor has strongly condemned the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, warning that it may be forced to take decisive action, potentially disrupting national economic activities if the proclamation is not reversed within a reasonable time frame. Excuse me. Now, the warning was issued in a joint statement signed by the Rivers State chairperson of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Alex Agwanwo, State chairperson of the Trade Union Congress, Ikechukwu Onyefuru, and chairperson of the Joint Negotiation Council, Chukwu Emecheta. The labor unions questioned the legality of the federal government's decision and raised concerns over its economic and political implications. They described the suspension of the elected governor, deputy governor, and House of Assembly members as hasty and baseless, insisting that due process must be followed. In the meantime, a pro-Fubara group under the auspice of Simplicity Movement has warned against a purported attempt to appoint sole administrators at the local government areas in Rivers State. At a press conference in Port Harcourt, the group, while expressing its willingness to work with the Rivers State sole administrator, retired Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, in delivering good governance, however, notes that any attempt to extend the appointment of sole administrators to the local government levels would be tantamount to violating the Nigerian Constitution. They affirmed that President Bola Tinubu was unfair to Governor Siminalayi Fubara in his attempt to settle the political crisis in the state.
Recognizing that governance is a continuum, we strongly advocate for the continuation of ongoing projects across the state, which we are thoughtfully initiated by the suspended administration of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. We have received credible reports of ongoing plans to appoint sole administrators in the local government areas of Rivers State. We strongly condemn this unconstitutional move as it directly negates the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution. We have noticed a worrisome trend on various media outlets and social media platforms where certain bloggers, notorious for blackmailing people to gain social media followers, have been paid to carry out a viral smear campaign against Rivers State, falsely insinuating that there is bloodshed and killings in the state. We condemn this falsehood in the strongest terms. Rivers State remains peaceful, even amid political misunderstanding. We are sure that you were carefully selected by His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, because of your pedigree and track record as a seasoned military administrator, entrusted with a critical mandate to restore peace, law and order in Rivers State. We urge you, Your Excellency, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, to carry out this responsibility with utmost sincerity and fairness for the collective good of Rivers State. Just as you are assured in your inaugural address to the state that you are not in the state as a partisan actor or political competitor, but as a stabilizing force to restore governance and order, we appeal that you make the solemn promise, your guiding principle in the governance of our state within the period of your stay in office.
Nigeria's federal government has assured of the creation of policies that will drive its developmental aspirations and produce good governance for citizens. This was during a validation session organized by the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, which had in attendance senior government officials, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federations and representatives of the leadership of the National Assembly. Here, Amadine Uyi has the details. We'll have to bring that to you subsequently. Do bear with us. Now, aggrieved protesters led by Hassan Taiwo Soweto have taken the bold decision to sue the Nigerian police over the illegal arrest and brutal assault of 22 protesters, including members of their movement on the 20th of October 2024 at the Lekki toll gate, while commemorating the End SARS anniversary. The protesters staged a peaceful demonstration in front of the Federal High Court in Ikoyi before the hearing commenced. The case, which was presided over by Justice Kakai, was, however, adjourned till May 28th.
It is a fight for survival. You must come out to claim your rights. You must come out to assert your humanity, your right to decent living, your right to be protected by the security operatives and not to be molested. That's why we have seek redress in the court.
Last year, October 20, I and a few of my comrades, we were all harassed, brutalized. Some of us were beaten by the Nigerian police simply because we came out. We came out to Lewi to commemorate the Lekki massacre that happened 2020. So we're here today to sue the Nigerian police and to also ask if, because we all know as Nigerians, it is our right. We all have the right to freedom of speech.
Nobody is above the law. We thought Nigerian police are our friends, and they are to protect life and property. But instead, it has turned the other way around. Then today, we are here to tell them that nobody is above the law. These are the things that many people have been passing through, above this, behind the scene, that nobody will know. And when they come out to tell us, they will deny it. This time, we witness it ourselves.
The Senate has confirmed Nwakuche Sylvester Ndidi as the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Nwakuche's confirmation follows the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Interior, which recommended his confirmation. The report presented by the committee's chairman, Adams Oshiomhole, confirmed the nominee's qualifications and stability, or rather suitability, for the role, clearing all doubts. Following the submission of the report, the Senate adopted its recommendations after it was put to a voice vote. Nwakuche, who was appointed by President Bola Tinubu in December 2024, has been serving in an acting capacity before his confirmation. His confirmation comes amid heightened concerns over security following a jailbreak in Kogi State, where 12 inmates escaped from the correctional facility recently. NLNG Shipping and Marine Services Limited has a new logo. The new logo, which was unveiled at an event in Lagos Monday, aligns with that of its parent company, NLNG. It marks the beginning of a new era for the company as it rebrands to strengthen its position in the global maritime industry. News Central's Oluwakemi Alimi here reports.
NLNG Shipping and Marine Services Limited, NSML, has unveiled a new company logo signifying a major milestone in its transformation into a top-tier integrated marine services provider. This rebranding highlights the company's ongoing growth, diversification, and expansion into new markets and service areas. Speaking at the event to launch the new logo, NSML's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Abdul Kadir Ahmed, emphasized that the updated identity reflects NSML's dedication to excellence, sustainability, and collaborative success within the maritime industry.
In line with our strategic intent of be safe, be reliable, and create value, we'll continue to provide innovative and sustainable marine services, not only within the LNG group, but within the Nigerian maritime space and African maritime space as well.
The logo features an advanced swivel in green, lemon, and blue, symbolizing NSML's agility, evolution, and expanding role as a world-class provider of integrated maritime services. As part of the NLNG group, the design also highlights NSML's critical role in linking energy production with international markets.
A success for us as NLNG means success of the NLNG group and inevitably the success of NSML. And we're proud of the brand affiliation. We know that the association helps us both, NLNG, the mother brand, and indeed NSML. For each entity, both as a group and NSML, we're really looking forward to a transformative future. So continue to watch this space.
Undoubtedly, engaging with the new brand and supporting the advancement of the industry through NSML will be beneficial to all. And as stakeholders in the maritime sector, it is important that we embrace the new brand with open mind in view of NSML's proven business prowess. And together we'll unlock new opportunities and shape the future of shipping operations in Nigeria and beyond. So the colors, the green represents our Nigerian heritage. The lemon, our ever-evolving business, the progress we're making, and then, of course, the blue, the seagoing nature of the business.
NSML, a champion of innovation and excellence in Nigeria's maritime sector, has significantly bolstered the country's position as a leading energy exporter over its 15-year operation. The company has evolved from a purely manning company to an integrated shipping, maritime, and marine services provider, offering top-notch services in the industry as it embarks on a rebranding initiative to pursue global excellence. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Oluwakemi Alimi.
We're now going on a short break. We've got more news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, Nigeria's federal government has assured of the creation of policies that will drive its developmental aspirations and produce good governance for citizens. This was during a validation session organized by the Office of the Special Advisor to President on Policy and Coordination, which had in attendance senior government officials, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federations and representatives of the leadership of the National Assembly. Here, Amadine Uyi has the details.
Problem with execution.
It was a validation session for Nigeria's draft national policy development and management framework. In attendance were senior government representatives, many of them highlighting the importance of progressive policies to the nation's development agenda.
Policy is the hallmark of every responsible government. It is a course of action that determines the direction of the government in alignment with the expectations of the people.
Public policy is not crafted in isolation. It is the result of deliberate prioritization, consultation, and collective will. For policies to be truly effective, they must emerge from structured engagements that include both government institutions and the citizens they serve.
The Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, emphasized the need for sound policies, saying issues relating to gaps in policy formulation will be addressed.
Recognizing that sound policy making is central to good governance, this administration is actively addressing long-standing gaps within the policy ecosystem. Such gaps include policy inconsistency, inadequate clarity around policy formulation and implementation processes, and the absence of a unified standard across government institutions.
Others in attendance assured of the federal government's commitment to leveraging the implementation of sound policies to providing good governance to citizens.
The administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR remains unwavering in its commitment to strengthening institutional frameworks, fostering a governance approach that is focused on its citizens, and ensuring that policy serves as a catalyst for national development.
The administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains unwavering in its commitment to strengthening the institutional framework and positioning public policy as a driving force for national development.
We shall not be passive. We shall not be indifferent. We shall match every executive ambition with legislative purposes, all geared towards giving Nigerians the desired good governance that we promise.
The session provided an opportunity to review Nigeria's National Policy Development Guide to help in the creation and implementation of policies nationwide. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
And insecurity, or rather as insecurity continues to challenge public safety across Nigeria, the reliance on private security firms by citizens to ensure adequate security around homes and businesses has surged. Now, this has prompted security experts and stakeholders to call for proper legislation to strengthen their capacity and oversight their duties. Our correspondent Idong Joseph has more on this.
With public security stretched thin, more Nigerians are turning to private security firms for protection. Yet, the rapid growth of private security sector has exposed critical gaps in regulation and oversight, raising concerns about professionalism, accountability, and the need to strengthen their capacity to meet global standards.
Private security industry in Nigeria has witnessed exponential growth in recent years, with well over 1,500 registered companies providing security services. Many of these services now go beyond the traditional guiding to include more technical services, like private surveillance and investigative services.
One major concern is the lack of clear guidelines that define the roles and responsibilities of private security operatives. Experts believe that building parliamentary capacity to draft and enforce effective legislation is vital to closing these gaps.
The Private Guard Companies Act number 23 of 1986 regulates the private security industry, which NSCDC supervises. However, this legislation has been criticized for being outdated and inadequate in addressing emerging security issues. The NSCDC, therefore, is committed to supporting the National Assembly in its legislative endeavors, particularly in areas of private security governance and reforms.
Recognizing the need for a comprehensive review of existing legislation to align them with modern realities, heads of security committees of the House of Representatives assured stakeholders of parliamentary support to review relevant laws.
Everyone is important when it comes to security of our dear nation, and we have all areas to contribute. As for legislature, we have been going on oversight, especially in the army. We saw a lot of things, and I can assure you that have enhanced us to be able to make adequate appropriation for them to be able to carry out their function.
As insecurity continues to evolve, stakeholders are calling for a holistic approach to private security governance and emphasize that sustainable reforms are necessary to enhance the sector's effectiveness. In Abuja for News Central, Idong Joseph.
And now we return to a previous story regarding the sexual allegation case with the Senate. As we are told from before, in Abuja, in the Federal Capital Territory, where the Senate Committee on Ethics adjourned its petition case as it's been viewed. We have joining us now our guest, Evans Ufeli, a lawyer and also public affairs commentator. He's joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Ophelia, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Well, it's afternoon here. All right, evening actually.
Yeah.
Good. So, Mr. Ophelia, the committee has adjourned indefinitely, citing the fact that case was already in court, but the matter has already traveled a long distance enough to get Senator Akpoti Uduaghan suspended. What do you think, in your view, has happened, and what will go on from here?
Well, the moment the matter is initiated before a court of law, you cannot have the same matter being litigated a pari passu with a different institution. You know, the right thing to do is to suspend it indefinitely, to allow the court to determine it, okay? Where parties are not satisfied after the court's decision, then they can go further or decide to explore other quasi-judicial means to have the issue resolved. The committee set up is not a court of law. So a court of law is the institution that is actually designated for the purposes of the matter under reference. So I think that suspension was fine. I mean, let the adjournment indefinitely is fine, because that is the right thing to do at this point.
So it appears that there are many who don't have faith in the process. There are many who believe that Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan might not get justice. How do you weigh in on this?
Well, those who think that he might not get justice will have to wait first for the court to decide. Okay, the court is not like the plenary of the National Assembly. No, the court will deal with facts and evidence. The court will marry evidence with facts. Okay, and it is dangerous for Nigerians to conclude. Most Nigerians who have concluded that the courts are not, you can't get justice in Nigerian court. That's not true. That's not true. The matter is going to go through processes. And when it goes through those processes, the court will, with evidence, decide whether or not there was, the allegations raised were true based on evidence. And the right penalty will be meted accordingly. So there's nothing like the court will not get, you cannot get justice from Nigerian courts when you have not even initiated a process. Okay? So let the process go on. Let Nigerians follow the case. Okay, everyone can actually go to the court, the public place, then follow the case diligently and see whether you can get justice in Nigerian court or not. This bandwagon approach where everybody just jump out and start, you cannot get justice in Nigerian court, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Even those who have not even initiated any case or follow any will tell you cannot get justice. Who says so? Nigerian courts are functioning and they're effective. So let's see how it goes. From here, we can take it further.
Okay, so you say the Nigerian courts are very effective and we should at least be patient and see. But I'm very worried. I don't know if you saw the plenary session, the shouting match that happened. The representatives of the suspended senator fell into a shouting match with the senators. How is this so difficult to actually have a conversation on such a level of governance, and especially when you consider the matter at stake?
Well, it was embarrassing when I saw the outbursts of, two persons who are among those who are supposed to undertake this process when they were, venting. Obviously, Ekwesili and one other senator from Ebonyi State. They had this outlandish outburst of anger and name calling. Okay. And I find it rather disconcerting. I know that dispute will arise at every point in time, but they should also know that they are there to resolve dispute. They are there to resolve one. So it will not be good to see that those who have been selected to have qualified to intervene in a matter are the ones now fighting and yelling. That is not a good thing to say. And by the way, needless to say, I saw my boss there, Ubani, SAN. With seeing him there, I had some level of courage that because he's a man of peaceful standing, and a couple of other people who have seen that have integrity. I believe that this panel will have a far-reaching effect by the time they fully have the authority to continue in the case. Okay, they will. But for now, this outburst was needless. I wouldn't know the genesis of it. I wouldn't know what must have transpired because we only saw a clip of the dispute. But the incident that happened before the dispute, we were not able to see that. But I think it's only human for people to have this kind of vent. And they could also resolve it there and there. I mean, there's no point carrying malice about. They could resolve it there. And they should also bear in mind that they are there to resolve a dispute, an existing one that is sensitive, that borders on the entire nation, and principal member of the National Assembly is involved. So I think that reason will prevail at some point, and they will get this pulled through for the interests of peace.
So Evans, the judge finally recused himself today, and it makes you wonder whether this sets the case back to square one, or if in any way it helps the case at all. What's your take regarding the judge recusing himself from the case?
Yeah, I don't know the reason for that, but it's not uncommon to find judges recusing themselves. There are so many reasons why a judge can recuse himself from a case. Okay, if the judge have any relationship with any or either parties, such judge will not be able to undertake such matter. If there are other issues that may clog the will of justice in the process of the delivery of justice, and it is so that the matter can be looked at dispassionately by an independent judge that have no relationship or any kind of link or connection with the parties thereto, the judge may apply that he be recused to the CJ. Sometimes even the CJ that will initiate the process, and it is not for us lawyers and judges. We've seen that over and over again. It's for the purpose of justice. Now, those Nigerians who are saying that you cannot get justice in Nigerian court, they should come and make comments on the issue under reference, that the judge handling the matter has recused herself from the process. Okay, they should go and investigate why they should do that. You will find out that it is for the purpose of promoting justice. That's why you have that in most cases. So this is a signal to the fact that the judicial system is still very, no matter the level of the people cast aspersion at the judiciary and the rest of that, most times it's not with evidence, it's just with a bandwagon approach and talk that have no basis on evidence and the rest of that. So I believe that a new judge this case will be assigned to a new judge, okay, one that is independent, one that is dispassionate, that will look at the case from point of evidence and fact and arrive at a judgment that will be incontestable.
Evan Sufeli, want to say thank you for joining us this evening on the news to give your expert opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Moving on now, Nigeria is set to host the Global Entrepreneurship Festival 2025 in Ondo State in November. The event will serve as a hub for business ideas and strategic collaborations that could reshape global trade and investment. On Monday, one of the scheduled global press conferences was held in Johannesburg, where News Central's Bongani Sisiba was present to bring us the details.
Dignitaries, business leaders, entrepreneurs and visionaries gathered to spark discussions on business opportunities in Africa and beyond. The aim was clear: to attract businesses and investors to the main event in Ondo State, Nigeria, from 21 to 23 November 2025.
It's a global stage to celebrate entrepreneurship entrepreneurship players, and of course world-renowned entrepreneurs who are making global impacts, who are creating innovations that drives change in our continent, in our world today. The platform is designed in such a way, in the span of those 3 days and 12 activities, to be able to create high-level engagement, from the conferences to the Global Leadership Forum to the International Women Congress.
This press conference marked the second stop on a global promotional tour following Atlanta. It set the stage for stronger bilateral partnership and trade, both within Africa with the wider global market. The vision is to position Africa's businesses as formidable players on the global stage.
We've always been saying that Africa is the
new frontiers of development in all fields. I think having entrepreneurship, getting the youth to now be involved in this kind of initiative is very brilliant for the economy, for the future of African continent itself.
Go where your business will be valid. A key takeaway from the event was the idea that is overlooked in one market may be priceless in another. So, what does this mean for Africa's entrepreneurial ecosystem?
I see more about Africa. I see more about the global south. Yes, it's global, but I want to see more about the global south, and we need to start getting our young people to realize that they have the voice, they have what it takes.
The Global Entrepreneur Festival is more than just an event. It is a movement. It offers a platform where visionaries and innovators can connect, collaborate, and build a sustainable future.
I so believe in bridging culture, connection, business, and just global building across continents at the end of the day.
But what specific opportunities exist between South Africa and Nigeria that entrepreneurs can explore at the festival?
Oil is big in Nigeria, and there's so many refineries here and so many opportunities for oil to move to South Africa. Same as us, we've got so many minerals that could go into Nigeria to produce and be beneficiated by us as Africans.
The festival will also showcase success stories of entrepreneurs who have already reaped the benefits of its initiative.
One of the things that I did as part of the board of the Global Entrepreneurship Festival is to expand my business beyond the borders of South Africa. And I think that's the most important message that we can send to entrepreneurs right now.
With Accra on the horizon, the upcoming gatherings promise to bring together global leaders, diplomats, and impact financiers, all eager to contribute to the growth of African entrepreneurship. In Johannesburg for News Central, Wongani Size.
Now coming up, Mozambique opposition government agreed to end violence. We'll tell you more after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. Now, the United Nations Refugee Agency has been forced to suspend critical medical aid to refugees in Egypt, including treatments for cancer, heart surgery, and chronic conditions such as diabetes and high blood pressure. The decision, driven by severe funding shortages, will impact 20,000 patients, with less than half of the $135 million required to support 939,000 refugees. UNHCR warns that many will face worsening health conditions without life-saving care. Sudanese refugees who fled a brutal war are among the most vulnerable. UNHCR Public Health Officer Jacob Ahem also cautioned that without the agency's support, many patients will be unable to afford health care, leaving them sicker, weaker, and at risk of death. In southern Africa, Mozambique's opposition leader Venancio Mondlane says he and President Daniel Chapo have agreed to end all violence after months of deadly clashes between protesters and security forces. Mondlane met with Chapo in Maputo, which has been gripped by political turmoil since the disputed general elections in October. The unrest has involved police violence, attacks on security forces, and clashes between opposition supporters and members of the ruling party. Mondlane also said the president had agreed on the need to provide social and psychological assistance to the families of victims and to establish legal frameworks for the release of detained protesters.
Nós temos que acabar imediatamente, chegamos ao consenso que é urgentíssimo acabar com todo tipo de violência. Tanto a violência que estão a sofrer estes jovens, que se dizem seguidores de Venâncio, ou o povo, mas também, diga-se a verdade, aqui é que está o valor do diálogo, tem que acabar todo tipo de violência infligida aos polícias, aos membros do Partido Frelimo, ou a todos os outros que também não estiverem de acordo conosco. Deve acabar a violência, os sequestros, assassinatos, contra os seguidores de Venâncio, contra o povo, contra os manifestantes, mas também deve acabar todo tipo de violência contra aqueles que não estiverem de acordo conosco. Isto é o ponto principal do consenso. Houve consenso, nós concordamos em relação a isso.
The White House has confirmed that a journalist was accidentally added to a private group chat discussing a military strike against the Houthi group in Yemen. The Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, was mistakenly invited to the chat by an account impersonating National Security Advisor Michael Waltz. During the discussion, Vice President J.D. Vance expressed frustration, saying he was tired of bailing Europe out again, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth criticized European nations for freeloading. Hegseth, who has faced allegations of leaking military plans, denied sharing any classified information. Despite the controversy, President Donald Trump has distanced himself from the situation, calling it a failure of the national security team and insisting he was unaware of the leaked conversation. Turkish police have deployed pepper spray, tear gas and plastic bullets to disperse demonstrators who have gathered outside Istanbul City Hall for the 6th consecutive day. The protests follow the arrest and imprisonment of Istanbul's opposition mayor, sparking Turkey's worst unrest in years. The demonstrations erupted after Ekrem İmamoğlu, after his arrest on the 19th of March, and have since spread to 55 of Turkey's 81 provinces, leading to violent clashes with riot police and also drawing international condemnation. Authorities have arrested more than 1,130 people over the past 6 days, including 43 protesters on Monday night. İmamoğlu, a leading figure in the opposition CHP party, is widely seen as the only politician capable of defeating President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan at the ballot box. Business now. Africa excels in female entrepreneurship, yet women-led startups face significant funding challenges. In 2024, female tech CEOs received a mere 2% of total funding, down from 8.2% in 2003. That's 2023. Efforts by funds like First Check and She Equity aim to address this gap. Essential for boosting the global economy by $5 to $6 trillion, Victoria Oloni Tech policy expert shared her insight on the funding disparities between women-led tech startups and their male counterparts. Apologies, we'll have to bring that to you subsequently. Now, U.S. jet fuel imports are set to hit a 2-year high in March, driven by Nigeria's 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery exporting barrels to North America. Now, data from Kepler shows that 6 vessels carrying 1.7 million barrels already arrived, with other shipments are being expected. Now, this surge alongside a New Jersey refinery shutdown created a rare opportunity for Nigerian fuel to enter the U.S. market. Increased supply has driven shortage demands up sharply, which could lower jet fuel prices ahead of summer. However, analysts warn economic uncertainties might offset any travel boosts from cheaper fuel. Now, Sheon Dania, energy consultant here, tells more. Sports now. The Nigeria Premier Football League has approved Sunshine Stars return to the Otumba Dipodina Stadium, Ijebu-Ode, after previously relocating the club due to poor pitch conditions. The Owena Waves initially adopted the venue as a temporary home, while the Ondo State Sports Complex in Akure underwent renovations. However, the NPFL later moved their home games to Remo Star Stadium, Ikene. Following logistical challenges and improvements to the playing surface, the league has granted Sunshine Stars permission to return. Sunshine, who are currently 19th on the league table, will face Heartland in a matchday 31 fixture at the stadium on Wednesday. NPFL CEO Davidson Owumi confirmed the decision, citing compliance with required standards. And Trent Alexander-Arnold is reportedly nearing a move to Real Madrid when his Liverpool counterpart's contract expires at the end of the season. Talks between the 26-year-old defender and the Spanish Giants are said to be progressing, with a free transfer looking increasingly likely. The England international, a product of Liverpool's academy, has been with the club for over 20 years and has won multiple major trophies, including the Champions League and the Premier League. He has been eligible to negotiate with overseas clubs since January. Alexander-Arnold, currently sidelined with an ankle injury, is among 3 key Liverpool players out on contract this summer, alongside Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. World Athletics has approved the introduction of a cheek swab test to determine if an athlete is biologically female, aiming to protect the integrity of women's sports. President Sebastian Coe described the decision as a crucial step in ensuring fair competition, emphasizing the importance of maintaining confidence in the female category. The policy follows extensive consultations with strong support from its implementation. Coe assured that the swab test is not overly intrusive and expressed confidence in its legal standing, citing previous victories at the Court of Arbitration for Sports regarding DSD regulations. He reaffirmed World Athletics' commitments to safeguarding women's sports. The announcement comes a week after Coe finished third in the race for the International Olympic Committee presidency. Now, Olympic champion Jakob Ingebrigtsen testified Tuesday in the trial of his father, Gert Ingebrigtsen, who is accused of physically and psychologically abusing 2 of his children, Jakob and his sister, Ingrid, over 14 years. Speaking in a Norwegian court, the 24-year-old athlete described his upbringing as controlled by fear and manipulation. He recounted being forced into intense training and denied social activities as a child. The case follows allegations of slaps and kicks dating back to when Jakob was under 8 years old. The 59-year-old denies the charges but faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted. The trials come days after Jakob won 2 gold medals at the World Indoor Champions in China. And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories we brought your way. Senate committee investigating allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President adjourns indefinitely as federal judge handling case steps down over Akpabio's petition. And Rivers NLC and TUC threaten to disrupt economic activities over energy or rather emergency rule. And we also told you that Mozambique's opposition leader, Mondlane, and President Chapo reach agreement to end violence. And real quick, just to put this in, Nigeria currently is leading Zimbabwe in the games in Uyo. Just thought to tell you for all you sports fans there. Now, do remember you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on the screens now. And do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can catch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, GoTV channel 23, Able TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.